Welcome to another edition of the Hoop Scoop. I'm Jarret Johnson. I'm joined by the Mighty Joe Yeager. Mighty Joe, man, finally we got access to Chris Beard press conference previewing the Bahamas summer tour that's coming up just in a week or so. Man, what a breath of fresh air, just because Chris Beard's the best, isn't he, man? Let's be honest, he's the best.
Yeah, in all sorts of ways.
Right.
He was in fine form, that's for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
he was very, very relaxed, humorous, engaging, and looks like he's ready to roll. We got a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow going, so he's staying busy. He doesn't have time for a shave or anything like that. Let's get out there and take care of business. So it was good to see him back.
He mentioned some things that I think are very important to talk about. One is that there is an open spot in the coaching staff, which we pretty much knew, but it's one thing to have sources on it and for it to be on Twitter, certain things. It's another thing for Chris Beard to say, this is what it is. The fact that there is an open assistant spot, and that, as he mentioned, is a recruiting spot left open from Coach Sip, Glenn Cyprian, who's with the Nigerian national team, and it looks like he's headed back to the NBA in some capacity too, Coach Beard mentioned. So that's a big deal, and as of right now, I don't know who the actual top candidates are. I really don't. But no doubt with Chris Beard and his network, they're going to bring in some guy who's going to be an amazing recruiter.
Yeah, and sooner rather than later, he said.
Right.
You definitely, recruiting is a year-round deal now.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't want to be down a man in that area for too long. So I'm sure he's going to get that squared away pretty soon, and it'll be interesting to see who he brings in.
He mentioned the 7 freshmen on the roster, which I don't know how uncommon that is for the top programs now. I mean, they tend to really they flip their roster almost every year now, just because that's just the nature of college basketball. So I don't know how unusual that is for the top programs, but for Texas Tech that is pretty unusual. And he said giving him gray hairs, but also he's having days of joy because of the just how talented this team is. I thought the fact that he said how athletic this team was, and that they're going to be good. He said they were good defensively from day one because of that. It's like exactly what I wanted to hear. I thought that was a really telling comment too, Joe.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We knew, obviously, that the team was going to be very young. We knew that we strongly suspected anyway that it was going to be very, very athletic as well.
Yes.
Based upon the pedigrees and what we've seen of these guys on film and everything. So that confirms everything. And the athleticism obviously is something you really, really need on the defensive end.
Right.
It helps you cover space, cover ground. It makes you tougher to get around. You've got quick feet, quick hands, and all that stuff. So that all adds into it. But he also talked about something else that is critical on defense, and that's the buy-in.
Yeah.
And you hear that from coaches a lot. Yeah,
sure.
Great buy-in. But with Beard, I believe it. But defense is all about commitment too. I mean, if you're not buying into that defensive mindset, which is everything at Texas Tech, then you can't play Texas Tech level defense. So you got the buy-in combined with the athleticism, and that sounds very good.
Yeah, I've actually had really highly respected Division I college basketball coaches tell me in the past before that you could boil down college basketball coaching to if you can get your team to play defense on a regular basis or not. Which I know that sounds like a way oversimplification, but if you think about it, I mean, come on, you get a high-scoring guy like Kyler Edwards, for example, who admitted he never played defense in high school, to live it, breathe it, all that, every day.
And Matt Mooney too was another guy.
Right, that's another great example. Then you got something there. And like Coach Beard said, it's no secret what Texas Tech is. They're going to work hard. That's a big part of the program. So speaking of Kyler Edwards, he said basically the program needs Edwards to step up. A lot of the same things he said about like Culver, Brandon Francis, those kind of guys. Moretti going into last season. He said basically about Kyler that he's going to have to step up and become like an all Big 12 type of player. Do you see that as a possibility for Kyler?
Yes, I absolutely do. Based more or less on what we saw from him in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. In the national championship game.
The national championship game. I mean, he was one of Tech's top 4 players.
Yeah.
I would say by the NCAA tournament, or certainly by the time you get to Sweet 16, Final Four, that area. And so I was at a case of the light coming on, as they say. I don't know, but that's certainly a good sign. And we've known all along he has tremendous talent.
Yeah.
But it's, you jump up to this level, it just takes most guys a while to realize that ability. And so it looks to me like he was doing that towards the end of last year. He should be able to carry that over into this year with that experience under his belt, more confidence, knows what he's doing. He's not like a fish out of water or anything like that. And so you would expect him and Morrow to team up and be
two of the better players.
Two of the better players of the Big 12. Maybe as good a guard duo as you'll see on a Big 12 team, right there with them. And yeah, if that happens, and it is critical, then Texas Tech is, they're one to watch once more.
Another critical thing that must, in my opinion, I don't say must, but should, it will really help Texas Tech defend their Big 12 title, would be if Joel Ntambwe gets that appeal, if he does get that waiver, allowing him to be immediately eligible. For those who don't know, he's a transfer from UNLV. He averaged between 12 and 13 points and like 5.5 rebounds.
Yes.
Very skilled player. I mean, I asked Beard about it Monday in the press conference, and look, he said he thinks he has a very good case. Now, and he also stated it wasn't his place to say why, but that he does. Yeah, I think we all can trust Chris Beard, his word at this point. That he is, like he says, he likes to be a truth teller. I don't think he was just, selling the waiver necessarily to the NCAA, but I think he truly believes that. Now predicting what the NCAA is going to do, like I always say, like a disclaimer, I'm not going to do that, especially with the more stringent, guidelines. Thank you, against that. But if you get Joel Ntambwe, if you add him, that's huge. I think this team is going to be really formidable with all the other guys, with the other like the grad transfers and some of these freshmen coming in, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. To me, if we kind of set aside Deshaun Corprew right now in his situation, then that puts more emphasis on Ntambwe. And I really do believe that him getting that waiver could be the difference between Tech winning the Big 12 or coming in second.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be that tipping point.
I didn't want to overstay it, so I'm glad you did. Or could have. Possibly. Maybe not, though. That's the point. Is you may be right.
And he's a guy, he's a skilled 6'9" guy who can help you up front. And you're not a team right now unless Chua is able to go from the get-go, which I don't know if that's really
I'm
the
hearing
case.
really good things about Chewy.
That would be great.
Especially yesterday from good people, good sources I trust. Like I'm surprised to hear what I'm hearing about Russell Tachua, Chewy as he's called. Right. I think Red Bear fans will be really excited. I don't want to blow it out of proportion, but I'm really excited after what I've heard from people I really trust.
Well, that would be just fantastic. I mean, if that works out, that's icing on the cake. That's the gravy on the biscuits. That's something that you're not necessarily counting on. I mean, a lot of these big guys, unless they're projected lottery guys coming out, you think they have to take a little time to develop, and you just hope they can give you a little shot blocking and rebounding and defense and stuff like that. But I mean, if he's good enough to step on and play big minutes, or at least, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 quality minutes a game, then that's huge right there. That would be something you're not necessarily counting on, at least I would.
Yeah, and you have Reek Smith there too, who I think could be a legitimate athlete in terms of playing 5 minutes, 10 minutes, to help you at least 5 fouls in the Big 12. One more thing, because we could go on and on. We could talk. Joe and I could talk about Red River basketball for days, honestly, on end. But Kevin McCullough, what he said about Kevin, or Mac, as Coach Beard likes to call her, they call him in the program. He's been one of my favorites. Just I was really excited about the talent they were reeling in with him, and this was before they made that run. It's one of those really pivotal pickups they got on the recruiting trail. 6'6" point guard out of the San Antonio area, very athletic. He's he actually kind of reminds me of Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen could play point guard if he wanted. Pippen was a guy like, okay, guard Magic, 6'8" point guard, okay, that's what they did. Guard a wing, okay, be a point guard, yes, be more of a wing kind of guy, a complimentary guy. Pippen was a guy who kind of did so many things, and that's really how I see Mac. And I'm not saying he's going to be as good as one of the best of all time, but Chris Beard said that if he can come back, if they can get him back, which he said he's 100% healthy now, just doesn't have his legs under him yet, but once he gets game ready that he believes he'll be one of the best all time. Now, he said that about Culver last year. And Big 12 Player of the Year, All-American, drafted number 6 less than a year later. Yeah. So, once again, Beard was prophetic. If he's prophetic about Mac, holy cannoli, as I like to say, Monty Joe, this would be amazing.
Well, Moretti appreciates the cannoli reference.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, Beard praises his players quite a bit. Yeah. But it's not every day that you're going to hear him say, this guy, and he hadn't even stepped on the court in a real game yet.
Right.
This could be one of the greatest players to ever come through the program. I mean, that's headline banner material right there. You're not going to throw that out and risk looking like a fool unless you really believe it. So Beard believes it, and he's a pretty good evaluator of basketball talent, I would say. Yeah. So, and I mean, I love the guy too from the beginning. Mac, from all I saw of his film, and I've said this before, but I think one of the things that people are going to love about him is just the effort that he plays with. I mean, that's the thing that is going to get him on the court, maybe as much as anything, is he's a guy who's going to plays as hard as somebody like a Lawrence Odiase or a Tariq Owens. And he plays with that sort of an effort, and he doesn't take plays off. I mean, he makes a play. I don't care how great it is. He's not going to go celebrating and bouncing around. He's focused on the next play, the next stop. Okay, I scored. Let me zero in on my guy. Don't mess with me. I got a job to do. So I think he's one of those intangible guys that's going to give you an awful lot that made Texas Tech so good last year.
Yeah. What a time to be alive and be a Red Raider, right? I mean, be around this golden age of Red Raider basketball. But man, like I said, we can go on forever. We're going to stop here. We'll be back next week with another edition of the Hoop Scoop. Monty Joe, great stuff from you as always. Thank you all for watching, and until next time.